Hi, I'm Marie Zinno. I'm an embroidery designer and educator. And today I'd like to talk to you about embroidering my yoga jacket. I love to sew and I love to embroider. But one of my favorite things to do is to embellish ready-made garments. As you can see here, I've purchased a simple yoga jacket, a full zip jacket, and I'm going to embroider it with a quilt design. My quilt design is actually taken from a collection of different quilt collection. And the design I stitched out, as you can see, on the white fabric. What I've done is eliminate the stipple portion of the embroidery design, this gray area, and I've deleted that color and saved that as a separate embroidery design. When you're thinking about embroidering a jacket, a ready-made garment, it's always important to print out a template for your design, of each design that you're going to stitch. So I'm going to embroider 3 separate embroidery designs on the yoga jacket, and I went to my software, to my embroidery software, and printed a simple template from my software on white, legal paper. The design is printed. The design direction is always facing the top as whatever's printed in the description at the top of the page, which is your name of the design or the stitch count. But the problem is they do not put in a direction that the design should be stitched. So you're not really sure exactly what is the top or the bottom of the embroidery design. So I always take a marker and I place the arrow at the top of the embroidery design. So when I'm planning my layout, I know exactly what direction it should be stitched. And then this is the template that I've printed and trimmed around the design. It makes it a little easier when you're laying out your, or auditioning the designs on your jacket so that they're in the shape of the design and not sticking the sheet of paper on your jacket. So trim around your actual design. And for my jacket, I printed out 3 separate templates because that's the 3 areas that I'm going to embroider. As you can see on the mannequin on my left, I've already placed my templates where I want them to be embroidered, and I've pinned them in place. And on my jacket on the table, I've placed the positioning stickers exactly where they need to be embroidered, and they'll stay in place until I'm ready to hoop. And I've ironed on my fusible poly mesh cutaway stabilizer, which is what you would use for a knit. You need a cutaway type stabilizer. And I'm going to embroider, I'm going to hoop the jacket with the stabilizer in place. Yeah, one design at a time is going to be stitched, and then we'll just move along. And then I'm going to place it on the embroidery machine. Now I've added the hoop to the embroidery machine, and I'm going to use my positioning sticker icon to locate the sticker. It's very simple. You hit that icon that looks just like the sticker. You hit scan. It looks for the sticker and corrects the embroidery design if it's on crooked. Now I'm going to remove the embroidery sticker. And I'm also placing water-soluble stabilizer on top of my knit. It holds down the fabric, and I've added a basting file which will hold down the water-soluble stabilizer automatically. It moves to the first color of your embroidery design, and it just acts as like a third hand. It's a wonderful tool to use for knits, and it's a great tool to use for bulky, thick fabrics as well when you are embroidering a design. So that's the basting file holding down the water-soluble stabilizer. And now we're going to embroider the actual design. And we'll just hit go again because we're going to keep the same color. And we're going to watch it stitch. It's a quick embroidery design. It only takes a few minutes. Now while that's stitching, we're going over to our finished sample. As you can see, the stabilizer is still in place, and when you re-iron that, you can trim the excess stabilizer around the embroidery design so you do not have large pieces of fabric. I also like to trim my basting file stitches from the wrong side of the fabric so you don't have any chance of snipping the right side of the fabric on the front of the jacket. So you would just snip those basting files, carefully remove the water-soluble stabilizer, tear it off, and then spritz it away with water. So take a look at our finished jacket, and you can see that I have already re-ironed the fusible stabilizer and trimmed the excess around the embroidery design. So you should really create your own embellished yoga jacket tonight.